Voice of Social Sales podcast. Her latest book, What to Post, launched in February of this year and is a #1 bestseller in 6 categories. She's a mom to her 7-year-old son, Mason, and a wife to her husband, Brian, of 18 years. Her favorite place to visit is Napa, enjoying a glass of Big Bold Cabernet. So if we can all give her a big warm welcome, and I will turn it over to her. Keep in mind, it takes a few seconds to get it turned over to her. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I'm really excited to be here today. And we are going to have a lot of people on the call, so I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone except for myself. And there we go. You can unmute yourself if you need to. Also, familiarize yourself with the chat because I really want this to be interactive. I want you to be able to ask any and all questions. Today, I came prepared to talk primarily about how to create organic or free leads using both Facebook and Instagram. And I have a lot of slides that we're going to be going through, and we're probably going to take the entire hour, but I also always like to kick off by encouraging you to get involved and ask questions, because this is your opportunity where you can ask me anything. And if it's, not something that we're talking about, but it's social media related, I'm happy to answer any of those questions. So find your chat box and ask away. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We are recording as well, so I would assume that the team will be able to share that out with you if you want to rewatch anything. So let me share my screen. All right, hopefully everybody can see that. If you can't, let me know, put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you all can see it. First of all, I want to make sure that we are all connected on the socials. Unfortunately, Facebook has a limit on how many friends you can have, so I won't be able to follow you back there, but definitely connect with me on Instagram. That's where I spend the majority of my time, and I make a ton of content about how to use Instagram for free to generate leads. So you can find me by my name at chelsea.pipes. You can send me a direct message. I will always answer. It may take me a while because I get a lot of messages, but you will hear directly from me. And we're going to dive right into, we're going to start with Facebook. Okay, we're going to move through Facebook and then go into Instagram. So I want to talk a little bit about sort of how the machine works, how the algorithm, this word we hear is algorithm all the time. It's essentially software. It's, to really simplify it, it's a recipe. And once you know what the ingredients are that go into the recipe, then you can make a really nice, nice baked item or a nice dinner. And that's what I'm going to teach you as we move through these slides. So really important is to set the stage for how does the machine work. And in 2018, there was a major change into the recipe, so to speak, of what was working in social media. And Facebook basically ran out of room in the feed. So they did run out of room, and essentially they had to figure out, okay, well, we're running out of room here. There's a lot of content, and we have 3 main areas that we can pick from. We have what people, friends and family are posting on their personal timeline. They had Facebook ads, and they had also Facebook business pages. So the 2 they decided to keep promoting are what's on our personal timelines, and of course the paid ads, because that's where they make all of their money. So if you have noticed a large suppression of your reach and engagement on your Facebook business pages, it's not your imagination. They did, in fact, downrank those a few years ago. And it doesn't mean that we need to abandon our business pages. There are a lot of really good, valid reasons that we still need to have one. And if we have one, it shouldn't just be tumbleweeds blown through the Facebook page. We do have to have a plan and a strategy, and it might involve doing some paid ads, which sounds like you're going to be hearing from an amazing ads expert upcoming. So excited for that class. So in essence, they shifted what they're focusing on. Not only did they shift what kind of content they were going to be promoting, they really shifted what their algorithm is looking for. And essentially what the algorithm is looking for, which is great news for us, is they're looking for how good of a community member are you? Or are you using it to talk to a lot of people? Are you jumping in and commenting on people's posts? Are you spending more time commenting on posts and engaging in direct messages than you are even creating content? That is actually seen as pretty much the highest bar you can get. as far as what they're looking for called active interaction. So you can see here, this is from buffer.com. They are looking and weighting, commenting extremely heavily. So when we're talking about creating content, which is kind of funny because I wrote a book about how to make content. So I believe in making content and high quality content. But a lot of people get really stressed, especially when they think about how do I generate leads and brand? And you start thinking more is better sometimes, and that I need to be everywhere, and then you need to be posting every day. And what I will tell you is that the algorithms are so inundated with so much content right now that these platforms would rather have you post maybe a little bit less and post with a higher quality content and spend the rest of your time using that platform to communicate and create communities, which is excellent because obviously a lot of us on this call are going to be working with our sphere of influence and our past client base and in the community mindset. So less contenting and more commenting. So hopefully that will be easy to remember. Now, I also want to talk about being a super fan. A lot of times when you hear the word super fan, it's in regards to creating super fans of your brand. But I'm going to flip that around a little bit. And it's really, really important that we are super fans to our potential customers and referral base. And the reason it's important specifically in social media, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, is because right now that's where the attention is. And I don't believe that the attention is going to shift anytime soon, especially in the last 4 months. We've had a massive influx of people who already were using social media and use it even more now that we are working remotely and we're not able to see friends and family in person. So that attention, we need to stay top of mind. We need to stay visible. People need to see us. It's just like anything else during any other time of the year, whether it's a pandemic or not. If we don't see someone, they are not going to be top of mind. So when you're a super fan, you're going to attract the right kind of attention. And what happens is that you can start to build your brand without necessarily creating a traditional piece of content, because your comments actually become the content. And what happens as you're commenting on someone's post, they're getting a notification. And to be really honest, many of us don't even look at our notifications or sometimes don't even have them turned on, except our social media notifications. Those are still kind of the last notifications we look at. And we look at them because we assume it's maybe friends or family, maybe someone mentioned us, maybe somebody commented. So we typically will pay attention to those. The nice thing about notifications as somebody, when you're commenting or you're being a super fan, is that every single time you do that, not only are you making that person feel really good, because everyone appreciates it when you comment or share their content, so you're doing something nice for them, but you're also building that top of mind brand awareness, because every single time I comment, it's going to send a notification to the person that I commented on. And that notification is going to have my picture and my name. So it's almost like double branding. They see my picture, they see my name, they see it over and over again. And also when they go to the comment threads, they're going to see that there and they're going to read your thoughtful comment. So those notifications really do build in that free repeat branding. And another side benefit of it is that it's going to train the machine. Because the more you talk to someone, the more you comment and consume someone's content, the more often and higher up in your feed, you are going to see that person's content, because the machine is going to say, well, we think that Chelsea probably wants to see, this person's content because she's always commenting on it. So we'll make sure that she doesn't miss any of it. Well, the person whose content I'm consuming, if I'm commenting on it, they're a nice person, I'm sure, and they're going to reply back, which is the appropriate social media etiquette. And when they reply back, now there's this two-way communication going on. And the machine says, they're talking to each other. So not only are we going to show Chelsea this person's post higher up and more often in the feed, we're going to start showing that other person Chelsea's content as well. And so now you're training that algorithm to make sure that you're staying top of mind strategically with your sphere of influence. There's also this concept of being a good community member, and there's no way to find out what your quote unquote score is per se. The idea here is that if you're a good community member, meaning you're using the platform the way they intended it, you are sending direct messages, you are creating content that's original, Perhaps you're placing ads. You have a Facebook business page. You're using live video. You're using different varieties of posts. You're using Facebook groups. When you use all of the things, they're like, that's awesome. Thank you for being a heavy user of our product. Also, if your content keeps people on the platform longer, or if it brings them back into it, i.e. I'm sending a lot of direct messages or comments that are sending notifications and I'm bringing you back into the platform, they're like, that is awesome, because they want us to spend all of our time in that platform. So you sort of have this good community member score that you can build up. When you have a good community member score, your content's just going to go farther for free regardless, because they are going to like that you are actively engaging in the way that they intended this platform to be used. Now, the last thing here in super fandom is to really lean heavily into direct messaging. And direct messaging is definitely, I believe, a metric that is going to be rising. If you didn't already hear, Instagram is testing removing likes, and they've already removed them from the accounts in Canada. So if we have public metrics that are disappearing, what other kind of metrics might we measure to determine if an account is a good community member or if they're using the platform as intended? Direct messages definitely, I think, is one of those metrics. So if you haven't already embraced using direct messages, I highly, highly recommend that you do so. I do have one caveat about direct messages, and it is as follows. We never sell in the direct message. We create value, we create conversation, we create human relationships in the direct message. It's a sacred space. You don't need my phone number, you don't need my email, you don't even need to be my friend to send me a message. And what happens is if you sell in the DM or ask people right away if they know anybody that's looking to buy or sell or asking for a referral, you probably, game of numbers, you'll get some people that respond back and positively, but they may still feel like, you sold to me in my DM, and they don't like it. And what happens is you'll get reported, because I report people that sell politely in my DMs, because that is not a space for me to do it. That is where we get to know each other as human beings. So what will happen is if you're reported and or blocked enough times and you're reported as spam, especially on Instagram, the good community member score will definitely go down and your content won't go hardly anywhere. All right, so now that we're talking about content, specifically in Facebook, let's talk about the unofficial content ranking in Facebook. And I say unofficial because I really do try to get in writing from the platforms as much information as I can. I have not found in writing how they specifically are ranking content. I've just found bits and pieces. So a little bit of this is anecdotal and what I believe they're doing. So I'm just gonna lay it all out here. There's 5 bullet points, and the top 2, not a surprise, video, okay? Facebook loves video. Definitely, I would encourage you, if you've just kind of been dabbling in video, I would do more of it, especially when it comes to Facebook stories and Instagram stories. There's no slide on this today, but I read an article this morning that Instagram is testing a just stories only feed. Stories is the future of social media, and it's pretty much all video or photo, and probably going to be mostly of you. So video is very important, especially in a very digital world right now, where the only sense of me being able to see somebody that I'm friends with, that I work with, my family, is through a device. So live video is getting 6 to 7 times more engagement, and Facebook is really pushing people to use live. The longer you go on live, generally speaking, you're going to get some more reach. Not to say that you should try to do a 30-minute live and not have anything valuable to talk about. But if you are doing some sort of interview with someone, and it generally tends to go a little bit longer than a solo live, that could be a really good thing. Number 2 is recorded video. So if you're not going live, but you're recording video and you're uploading it, that still is typically going to outperform than images. Now you'll see in the parentheses, really important word, vertical. Vertical means I'm holding my phone like I normally hold it, up like this. Shooting vertical videos and posting vertical videos on Facebook is definitely getting more engagement because it takes up the entire screen. So instead of seeing a post, maybe half a post below it or above it, it's going to stand out more and look more full screen. So definitely vertical video showing in research to outperform in engagement and reach. 3 and 4, images, okay? I still think single images often outperform. Now you'll see a slash on number 3, single image / text question. The text question is this little visual example I have for you on the right-hand side. If it's been a little while since you've gone into Facebook, maybe you haven't made a post in a while, you might want to try this one. Anytime you ask for advice or a recommendation or help from your community, everybody wants to jump in and help. And it could be something as simple as asking what to watch on Netflix this weekend. We all want to give our input and opinion. So oftentimes I'll drop a little question or a little command, and I just use the status update. I just use simple text, and I use the colorful background so that it stands out visually. And you will see that a lot of people will start to engage and comment with that post. And then what you can do is keep that conversation going by replying, asking questions to get more comments, etc. And so you can maybe ride out a post like this, sometimes longer than a day, sometimes 3 or 4 days, where you might be used to just getting a few minutes to half a day on your post. So definitely try that out. Maybe that's a homework assignment for this week. And then number 5 is no links. None of the social platforms want you to take people off of that platform. So if you are sharing a link, say you read a really interesting article about mortgage forbearances from housingwire.com, and you think this is a really good article, I want to share this. Well, it probably is a really good article and you should share the content in it. However, you have to know the right format for the machine, and the machine does not like links. So what I'd recommend instead of linking from a blog or from YouTube is I would go live or create a video because it's got your brand in it. And I would talk about the article. I'd mention who wrote it. I'd tag who wrote it. I would summarize it, and I would put the link to that article in one of the comments. I also read an article today, or maybe it was yesterday, that Instagram is testing out pinning comments, which would be awesome for, you know, if you can pin comments over there. You can also pin some comments on Facebook business pages. I think they need to bring that a little bit more on the personal side too, but it's really easy to drop a link in one of the comments, and you don't have to worry about just sharing the link. That way the algorithm is getting the video that it wants. You have the facial recognition and the personal branding and the visibility to stay top of mind, and you still got to highlight that incredible article. So try as much as possible to not just share a link on Facebook or LinkedIn. You can't even share a link on Instagram. It's not clickable. It doesn't work. They learned from Facebook's mistake. So that is really how they're kind of ranking all of the different content within there. All right, so now let's talk about video, because obviously video is huge for Facebook, and they made an announcement a little over a year ago that talked about this new algorithm that they're putting forth in regards to video. So when I put these bullet points up here, I don't want anyone to fall out of their chair. This does not mean that if you don't follow these to a T, that you're not going to get any engagement. This is just supposed to be a guideline, maybe goals to put down for your social media. Because when you see the first bullet point, which is coming up right now, you might say, oh my goodness, 3 minutes long or longer? Yes, they are looking at longer form video, and primarily because Facebook, their only competitor is truly YouTube. And YouTube, when we go there, it's a different intent. We don't usually go to YouTube and kind of just scroll through. Once in a while, maybe. We're typically going there to learn something, to have a question answered, and we're more willing to sit down and watch a 10-minute video from start to finish because I'm going there with an intent to learn something or find the answer to something. Now, when I go to Facebook and Instagram, I'm not really looking for the same kind of content. I'm just kind of wasting time checking in. It might be a habit, just want to see what's going on with friends and family. So that longer video hasn't really been the goal from Facebook from the beginning, but now they're really trying to be the destination and become or beat YouTube. It also means that they can add more ads in between your videos or at the beginning if they're longer, but 3 minutes in length is what they're looking for. It doesn't mean if you do a 1-minute video, it's not going to get any reach. Absolutely not. If you're just new to video, 3 minutes is a long time. I would never say, okay, first video, let's do a 3-minute video. This should be something that once you're feeling a little bit more comfortable with video, you've kind of built the habit, then you can kind of work towards making a longer video. Now, this next bullet point, super important on any platform, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of the above. Really, they are focusing on the first minute of watch time, from 0 seconds to 60 seconds. And the reason that they're looking at that first minute is because sometimes we click on things and don't mean to, or sometimes we're interested and we click on something and then realize that it's not very good and we just kind of bounce off of it. If you can keep somebody actively engaged for the first minute, that's a huge algorithmic factor that says, okay, people like this, let's show it to other people because people are sticking around to watch it. What does that mean for you and your videos? It means that you need to get really good at that first intro. You need to tell people who you are and what you're going to talk about. You need a hook to say, here's why you want to stay watching. I'm going to talk about these 3 things, and this last one that I talk about absolutely can impact you, financially or whatever, the emotional tie-in is. People who do this really well are really big famous YouTubers. If you've ever seen YouTubers who have, massive followings, they'll get on there and say, I'm just grabbing my pen. They're like, hey everybody, it's Chelsea. And today I'm so excited to talk about this blue pen because this blue pen has absolutely changed the way that I write. And you will never believe how much time I saved. It's, I'm just wasting time. They're telling people who they are, what they're going to talk about, and they don't just stop there. They tell the viewers why they need to keep watching. And so that is going to have to be sort of a strategy and a talent that's developed over time with practice. Probably not going to happen on your first maybe 10, even 20 videos. So that's what they're definitely looking at. Next thing they're looking at is something called loyalty. And loyalty basically means repeat viewers. Are the people who watched your video last week coming back and watching this week's video? And again, very YouTube. When you go to YouTube, you'll see a subscribe button. And the idea is that you're going to consume more of that person's content. I just saw a subscribe button being tested on Facebook after a live. So I'm going to predict that that's coming out to Facebook as well. This means that we might need to start thinking about more of a consistent plan. Maybe it's as consistent as one specific day a week in time. Maybe it's more of like a show, or maybe it's just more of like, hey, this is the time and day that I post a new video every week. And just because you're consistent doesn't mean you have to do it every day or every week. Maybe it's, once a week, maybe it's once every other week, but you need to really think about how can I promote the next one, or how can I tease out that, a week from now, don't forget to tune in because I'm going to be talking about X, Y, and Z. So it is important to build that repeat viewership. On your Facebook business page, you can create playlists of all of your videos. Might not be a bad idea to start organizing those into playlists. So on IGTV, which we're going to talk about today, on Instagram, you have what are called series. It's the exact same thing as a playlist. The more people binge watch your content, the more that they're going to serve your content to other people that you don't know, and the more they're going to serve it to people that are looking for that topic. It's just like Netflix, where you watch a bunch of true crime documentaries, and then it says, if you like this, you'll probably like this. We want to be, you'll probably like this. We want to be served up in those suggestions. Okay, the next one is no engagement bait. First of all, just want to tell you, you're not going to go to Facebook jail if you say, hey everyone, comment below. They are trying to move people away from these exact phrases. Comment below, tag a friend, share this out. And this is just for Facebook. These work so well that Facebook was like, we probably should crack down on this, because they work. You need to tell people what to do. You must tell them to engage. You must tell them to comment. So what do we say instead? I just say something like, hey, what are your thoughts? Or what do you think about this? And I point, and they know what to do. So again, you're not going to get your video taken down. You're not going to go to Facebook jail if you say comment below, but do think about maybe other creative ways that you could encourage engagement. And typically it's just asking somebody a question. Vertical video we've talked about. And then my favorite tip of all on this entire page is this one: 300 word or more descriptions, about 2 or 3 sentences or more. I see so many great videos that go up on social and they just have a video. And let's be honest, sometimes I'm not in the mood to watch a video. So if you just have a video and you don't have a text headline or a summary or a text call to action or a question to me, I'm probably just going to skip right past your video because I might not be in the mood to watch it. However, if I open up Facebook and I'm not really in the mood to watch a video, but I see that you've included a headline that says 3 mortgage forbearance mistakes, and then you have a couple of bullet points that I can actually still understand what you're talking about and get the value out of, I might say, oh, wow, I better save this video and come back and watch it later. Saving a video is good for your algorithm. I might actually watch it right then, or I might not save it or watch it, but I might actually comment or reach out via direct message. So you can't force someone just to consume your content in the format that you hoped they would. Primarily, that's video. So adding captions, adding text, all of those things help you get more engagement and reach. So those are some really important tips. And I see that there's some questions, so I'm going to get into the chat in just a moment. Since we're talking about video, just wanted to give you a couple of product tools. I'm not an affiliate. I don't get paid a commission. This is what I use. And let me just tell you, you don't need any of this except for your iPhone. I used to prop my iPhone up on a bookshelf with a Kleenex box. And if you have a window or if you have a lamp, take the lampshade off. You don't need any fancy equipment. I still, to this day, shoot all of my videos with my phone. So I use my smartphone. I don't use a camera. I have an expensive camera and I've barely used it. What I will tell you is one thing that I think makes a huge difference and I think is totally worth the investment is a ring light. And the ring light, you can see in my picture right here, it's a 14-inch ring light, holds my phone. It goes taller, shorter, it's mobile. I love it. And it really elevates the quality of my video and honestly makes me feel more confident when I'm shooting my videos. Highly, highly recommend it. Again, not something that you need to go out tomorrow and buy, but if you're ready to take it up a notch, right here, this second bullet, this is the brand, Neewer, and it's 14-inch. I got it on Amazon. I believe they have an 18-inch too. And it was probably like $85. I've had it for 5 years, use it every single day. It's amazing. So that's really the only thing that you absolutely have to have. All right, let me take a peek here into our questions before I move on. Let's see, does the info you're giving us apply to our business page or personal and business? Okay, that's a really good question. So reach or how much exposure you can get with your content, you're always going to get more reach and exposure using your personal than your business page. Okay, so it's just how they've decided to work the algorithm. So let's say you have 500 people following your business page, you may get about 1% reach. So about 1% of those 500 people may see your Facebook business page post. And those are people that are following it. So what I do for my business page is I try to do a lot of live video. I try to do as much sort of like algorithmic enhancing things as I possibly can. But to be honest with you, I still don't get that much reach, which is why you might want to just do a simple boosted post. And boosted posts are not for leads. Those are just more to guarantee that your people are going to see it. But yes, pretty much everything that works on your personal will work better. It's still not going to work as well as your personal, but it will work somewhat on your business page as well. So we are specifically talking about Facebook for right now, but we're going to be moving into Instagram in just a moment. When I record a video and post it on my Facebook story, it cuts off the video. Yes, you have a time limit for what length of video you can upload into Facebook. There are several apps, and I hope that I'm giving you the right name. I believe it's called Story Cutter. Might be Story Cutter, or some variation, Story Cutter. You can trim down, and if you upload it into those apps, it'll crop it into the exact time that, like, say Facebook needs it or Instagram needs it. But keep in mind, if you are repurposing videos to your stories are micro content. I'm not going to watch a 2.5-minute story, even if it's cut up, unless it's really good. This should be micro content. The best practice of a story is to try to keep it to the actual time limit. I know it's hard, but there is something beautiful about trying to be succinct and getting to the point. People will just tune out if it's just the same image going across. That's why we watch live videos and YouTube, not so much on stories. Let's see, is there a way to edit vertical videos and include branding? Yes, absolutely. Actually, it's up here on this screen, this third bullet, editing. I hate editing. Editing terrifies me. It always has. So if you hate editing, like I hate editing, I just use an app. I think Video Shop at first was a little confusing for me, but now I think it's really easy. And if I can handle Video Shop, anybody can. And I do minimal editing. And that particular app, there's another one called InShot, InShot. It can reconfigure, like, if you wanted to make a vertical video, if you want to make it fit for YouTube where it's horizontal, and you can add, some music or edits. So you definitely can include, like, you can upload your logo if you have it saved to your camera roll. So check out Video Shop. I think it pretty much encompasses everything you need as far as editing. What don't do a video, but a post about an article, and it does still work, put the article link in the comments. Yes, the idea is always you want to credit to the article, because I might want to read it and you want to give credit to the person who wrote it. I just put the link to the article in the first comment. So I'll go and make a comment on my own post and say, and here's the link to the article. How do I get more followers? Okay, that's a really good question. So follower count doesn't matter. It matters a little bit in the sense that the more followers you have, potentially the more conversations you could have, as long as they're the right followers. If they're nobody who's interested in your product or service or ever going to buy from you, then it's useless. But for Instagram specifically, if you're using hashtags and strategically and in the right way, that is how you grow and get your content found. If you don't use hashtags in your Instagram posts, nobody will see that post except if they follow you. So that's why using hashtags helps people grow, because it helps push out your content. And if somebody's using a hashtag, for example, like hashtag Scottsdale Homes, and let's say I'm looking for Scottsdale related things, I might look at that hashtag and I might find your post and your profile and follow you from there. I've received conflicting info, not allowing in-state local realtors versus not allowing realtors on business page. I'm wondering, you might need to clarify just a little bit more for me. Is the question, is it allowed by Facebook to be posting like a listing or an open house on personal? Please let me know if that's your question. I'm sorry. If you comment on your own post or like your own post, does it still give you Facebook juice? It's funny because that's the second time I've gotten that question today. It might give you a little bit. I mean, I think it just registers a comment as a comment, but it's a personal preference if you want to or not comment on your own things. As far as like going in and dropping a link, you could certainly do that. So it's really more personal preference. It probably gives you a little bit, but it's not very common practice that I've seen, that often people are making it a best practice to comment on their own posts, unless it's like a link or something of that nature. How do you get more people to comment on your Facebook business page? There's not much that we can do there. I can post the same thing on my Facebook profile and business page, get 0 comments, few likes on business, but hundreds of likes and dozens of comments on profile. You are 100% right. The only way that you're going to be able to do it, honestly, is if you're paying to make sure it gets into more people's feeds. The reach of a business page is just not going to ever come close to the personal. And that is by design. Facebook has said, we've changed our algorithm. So I'm sorry to say there's not much else you can do other than staying consistent and creating really valuable, high quality content, and also growing your page and maybe boosting those posts. Realtors as followers. Oh, got you. Okay. Got it. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Allowing realtors to follow your business page. Well, here's the thing. Nothing is private on social media. So I say, why worry? You never know who you're going to work with. You never know who's going to have a house that you need to connect with and it might be perfect for your clients. You never know who's going to be a great referral partner. So I say, who cares who follows you? Because let's be honest, if I really wanted to see your page and I'm not following you, I'll just call my friend and have them send me a screenshot. So that's my personal opinion. It's up to you, honestly, if you want to have other realtors follow you. But I would say having a community network that could be referrals sounds pretty awesome to me, especially if maybe they have a referral for you. I was posting on business and sharing to personals. That's still the way to go. Absolutely, you can share from business to personal. It's still not going to get as much reach as if you originated it on your personal. The reasons that you might want to originate, say, a video post on your business page is because when you post that, say, testimonial or community video, you post that on your business page, you're going to get a whole bunch of insights that you're not going to get from your personal. It's going to tell you, hey, this many people watch 50% of your video. And not only that, I can actually serve an ad to those people that watch 50% of my video. So it's really dependent on, sort of what your goals are. And I know you have a Facebook ads class coming up, and this will tie into what Travis is talking about. But you certainly can share. It's still not going to give you as much reach as you possibly could. What do you use to add captions to your video? I'm going to type it in here because there's a couple of different options, and I don't think I have a slide on this. So let me type this in here. I'm going to just put captions. This is a good website, temi.com. It's 25 cents a minute, and it will give you a file. It basically reads or listens to everything in your video, then it gives you a file, and you can go edit your Facebook post and upload that file, and it will lay the captions. Not super quick and easy. It is a third party. It is multiple step. Facebook supposedly might be coming out with their own auto-generated captions, which would be awesome. If you have an iPhone, you can use an app called Clips or Clip-O-Matic. If you have a Droid, I do not, so I don't know the quality of this app. You can use something called AutoCap, so I've been told. Great questions, everybody. I want to make sure that those keep coming in. Let me just go back to the slides here for just a moment, and I want to make sure I keep us on time. Okay, live video tips for everyone too. Remember I talked about adding the 300 word or more description? You can add a description right here. This is the screen. Tap to add a description. So I always add mine before I go live, which means I have to think about it and prepare it typically. So I'm usually not going live on the fly. But just so you know, after you've gone live, you can go back and edit that post. You can't edit the video, but you can edit the description and add that if you forgot to. So let's give you some live video tips here. So important for stories, for video, recorded video, live video, webinars, whatever kind of video you're doing, you have to look directly into the camera lens because you're going to use this technology tool to create trust with someone that you've never met before, and they're seeing you through a screen. So you have to be looking at them directly in the eye. So really important when you're on your phone, your camera's up here. It is not looking at the reflection of your own eyes in the screen. You must look at the actual camera. Feels weird at first. Now it feels weird for me to even not look at the camera, but very important. And it really does psychologically affect the trust level relationship that somebody might have. And maybe they're moving here to Scottsdale and they got a referral from you, and you're doing Instagram stories regularly, and they feel like they know you because they've been watching you for 2 weeks before they even come to Scottsdale to meet you. So that is important. Adding a text description right here. I usually pre-type mine out and then I'll copy and paste it in. Really, really important. Calls to action. You've got to tell people to do something. Leave me a comment. What are your thoughts? Tell me what you guys think. If you want whatever thing you're showing, my ebook, my download, my free list of homes, make sure you let me know. Tell me below that you want it and I'll send it to you. So you have to do that verbal call to action. You also need to have a text call to action because remember, we're not going to force people to watch it. It's great if they watch it, but if they don't watch it, we still want them to engage because if they engage, our content goes farther. So in my text description, I'm also going to have a text call to action. I'm going to say it. I'm going to have it in the text. Also, last couple of tips here. If you're going to be showing something, like let's say I've got something like this and it's got words on it, or maybe you're doing a market update, you've got like a whiteboard back here. If you're going live on your phone through Facebook, it's gonna be backwards. So if you wanna flip that screen, very easy to do. Do it before you go live. And all you need to do is right here, this little magic wand guy. If you tap that, it's gonna open up another little menu of icons, and you wanna look for the tools. It's like a screwdriver and a wrench, kind of like in an X. That will flip your screen. Also, I'm glad I put this picture up here. If you've ever wanted to go live from your mobile device with a friend, you can. You can click bring a friend and it will split screen your phone, and one of you will be on the top and one of you will be on the bottom. So really easy to flip the screen there. Vertical is better. We've talked about that. I also mentioned you can edit after you go live. Tell people you're going live. If you're going live on Instagram, they have a countdown sticker. You can post a story and say, hey, I'm going live in 2 hours, and those people can actually sign up for notifications. Tell people when you're going live, and don't forget the time and time zone, because you might not have all the same people in Arizona who are going to be tuning in for your live. Okay, so we're going to move on into Instagram now. So we're going to run through this really quickly. Let me just see if there's more questions. Okay, no more questions as of now. If you had any more Facebook questions, feel free to drop them in there and I'll take a quick break here. Okay, first thing I want to talk about, if you're going to want to use Instagram for business, you have to have the right account. You are not going to be able to grow your brand and generate leads if you don't have the right account. There's 3 different kinds of accounts. The first kind of account you can have is the personal account. Then we move into what is called now the professional accounts, and there's 2 accounts in that category, business and creator. 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to want to use business. If you're already a business account and you've heard of the creator account, I say try it. They're pretty much identical. If you do a lot of Instagram stories, creator account is the way to go. If you really want to run ads with Instagram and Instagram story ads, business is the way you want to go. 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to use business. So let's talk about why we're not going to use a personal account. Personal accounts limit your growth. And if you have a private personal account, it really limits your growth, because if you have a private account, what happens is if I wanted to follow you, I have to request, number 1, to have access to follow you. Number 2, I can't see any of your content. I can't see any of your posts. I can't see any people that you're following. And probably the worst part about it all is if you are using hashtags and location tags, 0 of them will work. So unless I'm following you, I will never find your post that use the hashtag Scottsdale Homes if I'm looking up Scottsdale Homes. You're just not going to show there because I'm not following you. So it also limits who can share your content. Let's say you have a beautiful home that I have a friend that wants to move to Arizona and I know what they're looking for and I want to share your amazing post with my friend. Well, if you have a private account, it allows me to share it, but my friend can't see it. It'll say, this is a private account, must follow. And I can't share it to my Instagram story either. So there's a lot of barriers around having a private personal account. So let me talk about the benefits of having a business account. Business accounts have 0 downside. They are not like a Facebook business page. It is not a separate account. You don't have to have people follow you on this new thing. There's no downranking in the algorithm. I'm simplifying it. It's literally turning on a switch in the back end of Instagram and you go from personal to business, and only you and Instagram know. So it is not, I repeat, not like a Facebook business page. I know we hear business and we think, oh, is this going to downrank my content like Facebook? No. So what you do get is you get a 1-click contact button, which is amazing. You want to treat your Instagram profile like your website, and you want to give as many opportunities to contact you quickly and easily with 1 button. If you have your phone number or your email typed into your bio, remove it, because I'm lazy and I'm not going to pick up my pen and write it down. I can't click on it. It's not clickable. So you have a 1-click contact button that you can make either a call, text, or email, or a combination of all of those. So that is really cool, because then somebody can contact you in any way that they want to contact you with. You can have a category. There's, I think, 4 or 5 different real estate categories, and that really just lets somebody know that immediately they're in the right place. It also kind of tells Instagram a little bit more about what business or industry you're in so that it can help sort your content appropriately. You can add an action button, which means if you want people to book either virtual appointments or in-person appointments with you, you can add a button that says book now, and whatever, booking calendar software you use, you can set it up so that it, books all of your appointments. You get insights, data. Analytics, you get to know when your audience is most active. You get to know which pieces of content are actually outperforming. It's very important if you are trying to generate business on Instagram, you need to know what kind of content's working and what kind of content is not. And you don't know that if you don't have access to insights. If you can't see how many accounts did I reach because of hashtags? Well, how will I know if my hashtags are working? I have to be able to see that information. You also get a really cool inbox, which you might not be excited about, but I love it. I think it's such a time saver. It looks like this. You have a primary, which is basically everyone you follow, and then you have a request section, which is great for filtering out spam. If you have potential new clients that you don't follow that are sending you messages, you might always want to look at requests first because those are people that don't follow you. I love the inbox. You can also flag different people's accounts. So if you want to make sure that you're getting back to that client every single time they're DMing you on Instagram, you can make it like a little color-coded corner and you can say, oh, I want to make sure they get back to this person first. Of course, you can do ads and retargeting. I'm not going to go deeply into that today, but you can do custom audiences. By the way, really powerful, you can retarget any person who has visited your business profile. They don't have to take any action. They literally can open up your Instagram business profile and say, no, and move on. And you can retarget them with an ad. You can retarget anyone who has liked, commented, saved, shared any of your posts, and anyone who sent you a direct message. That is huge, in my opinion. If somebody has sent you a direct message, they remember who you are in many cases. It's not like you're scrolling across and go to a website and you don't remember the website. So really powerful abilities to create ads in Instagram. You also get access to, in the stories section of Instagram, if you've ever watched a story and said, hey, you swipe up and go to my website, that swipe up feature is not available in any personal accounts. There is a big caveat. You have to have over 10,000 followers, which is a lot. The reason that I mentioned before, they don't want people going off the platform. I think that's why they've made that swipe up feature bar so high. You can do shoppable posts. Now that's still kind of brand new, but if you had something that you did sell, whether it's, real estate swag or coaching courses or what have you, you could potentially sell those items on your Instagram profile as well. You also get to use a brand new website called Instagram Creator Studio. And if you've never been there before, write it down, Google it, Instagram Creator Studio. It is a free website made by Facebook and Instagram, and it will allow you to not only see all of your insights and analytics, you can schedule posts to the feed and also to IGTV, and they are continuing to evolve and improve that platform. So if you or anyone on your team is paying for a third-party system, you may not want to give it up yet because this website isn't as good as some of those. And as good, I mean reliable. Sometimes when you schedule a post, it doesn't post at the right time. So that is important. But just so you can go in there and check it out, you can use Creator Studio with a business account. You won't be able to access that if you have a personal account. You can also connect your Facebook business page. Highly recommend that you do that, especially if you're going to do ads and custom audiences. You can only connect one Facebook business page to one Instagram account. So if you have multiple pages, you're going to have to pick one and you can attach it. It's not required, but if I would recommend it. It'll say skip if you don't want to attach your business page to it. But some features like ads may not be available if you're not connecting them. Now, two little things to note. And remember I said business or creator account. If you are really into stories, like I'm really into stories, if you're really into stories and you have turned on your cross-posting, that when you post to Instagram stories, it's cross-posting over to your Facebook stories. If you switch from personal to business, it's going to no longer cross-post your Instagram story to your personal Facebook. It's going to cross-post it to your business page. So if that's an issue for you, you're going to have to do it manually, or you're going to have to use the creator account because the creator account treats it almost like a personal. And if you also love Instagram stories and you like to use the music sticker when you're creating stories, you will not be able to use that if you have a business account. If you have a business account and you would like to use the music sticker, switch to a creator. In 3 days, it will come back. So you'll be able to access it. So it's really important that if you want to generate leads and business through Instagram, you have the right type of account. I'm hoping that I put a picture of where, oh yes, I did. Okay. So if you're wondering where you go in the menu to find where you can, what kind of account you have and how to switch it, you just need to go to your profile, and in the top right-hand corner is a 3-line menu. That's where all your settings and your menus live. Tap on that, and you want to navigate to settings. Settings is where we want to go. And depending on what type of I guess not what series, but people have different Instagram accounts. Some of them are beta testers. Some of them just haven't updated. Sometimes you have to, when you go to settings, sometimes you have to actually click on account. And if you're looking at this lower red box here where I've boxed in switch to professional, 9 times out of 10, you'll see that down there. 1 time out of 10, you won't see anything down here, and you have to click on account. Then you go to the next screen, and then at the bottom, you'll see these different options. I don't know why that happens, but there's always at least one person in every class whose settings menu is different than mine. So mine looks like this, but have no fear. If you don't see it exactly like this, if you click into account, you'll eventually see it. And when you click switch to professional account, it's going to give you the option. Do you want to be creator? Do you want to be business? You can switch back and forth as many times as you want, and nothing bad will happen. I could switch 100 times today between business and creator. It takes me 2 seconds. So if you are going to switch from personal to business, it is going to ask you a series of questions. Very easy. It's like a 3 or 4 step process, and you'll be a business account and nothing bad will happen. You'll have the insights, analytics, but they'll start from that day. So it's not going to go back in time. It takes a while to populate all of that. So that is how you switch over to a business or creator account. Okay, good. We have some more questions coming in. Let me just pop in here real quick. Here we go. How do we know which type of account we have? That's a perfectly timed question. So when you come into this section at the bottom, if you have a personal account, it will say switch to professional. If you have a creator account like I do already, I believe, let me just go in and make sure I tell you exactly what it says. I believe it says switch to personal or switch to business. I just want to be 100% sure on that. Yeah, mine says switch to personal or switch to business. So whichever one you don't have, which one you don't see there, I don't see creator. So I know there's 3. So I know that I have a creator account. So that's probably the easiest way to determine what you have. And you might already have a business account, may not even have realized it. Is there a way to update or edit your IG profile from a non-mobile device? Like a desktop, for example. You know what? Instagram is rolling out a lot more desktop-friendly tools. I always recommend, you're still going to do your editing on your mobile. And the reason you want to do that is because it's going to look different on a desktop, at least right now. Maybe one day they'll change it so it looks exactly the same. It may not look exactly the same or as good or as, decorative or however you want it placed. So always do it on your phone. It really is designed to be a mobile only tool. And after many years of people saying, hey, why can't we do more on Instagram.com? They are sort of rolling out some additional tools that are more desktop friendly, uploading IGTV videos. But I definitely recommend for your profile to do everything through your mobile device. It's pretty difficult to do it through the desktop. Let's see, does anything happen to your content? No, thank goodness. Everything stays exactly the same. And just to test this, I have an account like a second account just to test things on. And I've changed it like 10 times in like an hour and literally nothing happened at all. If you do a professional account, can you switch back? You certainly can. You'll lose like your analytics and some of the new bells and whistles that you were able to get with the business, but you can switch back anytime. I've been paying a company to post for me. Is it better for me to just do it myself or hire an assistant? Okay, so the good community member score that we talked about. What happens a lot of times when there is either a third party involved or like a scheduling system, sometimes users treat it kind of like as a set it and forget it. So meaning, okay, great, I know that we're loading up 30 days of posts and it's set to go on its schedule. The problem is if you don't go in and you're not a good community member, meaning you're not, commenting often, you're not going in there and using it, you're not opening up the app, it's not going to go as far. So I always prime the post before I'm going to make one of my posts. And I only post once a week in Instagram feed. And I'll go in there 30 minutes before I'm going to make that post, and I get really active and I talk to people and leave comments, and then I make sure that I don't post and ghost. So sometimes, the challenge is it's not that a third-party scheduler or having somebody create content and push it out is a bad idea. It's actually really efficient. But the challenge is that if we rely only on that and there's nobody actively engaging, the engagement part is what makes your content in many ways get more reach. So it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong algorithmically with it, but it is important to remain being active. I could not post for weeks on Instagram, and you can, or Facebook. And as long as I'm staying really active, I'm still going to have some reach. Now, do they want me to be posting consistently? Sure, absolutely. And I always say, what's ever sustainable for you. If once a week is something that you're like, I can commit to that, I say do it. Sometimes when we think, okay, I should be doing this 3 times a week and creating content, is that sustainable over the long haul? Is it sustainable for me to do 3 live videos a week for 3 years? Maybe, maybe not. Does scheduling content reduce visibility? That kind of goes along with the other question. Not really, but if you are active, then your content's going to go farther. If it's more of a set it and forget it, and you're just not really even opening it, and you're like, I've got my content scheduled, and you're not really going in there, then that's going to reduce the visibility. It's not the scheduler itself, it's the fact that you're not being active. Is there a way to set up Facebook to automatically like every post on your feed? I would not recommend doing that. There's plenty of systems, more so for Instagram than Facebook, that you can pay to go and like and comment. But there's been a couple of legal cases lately where they have handed down judgments that said, hey, we are not going to approve inauthentic activity. So people that are selling fake likes and fake comments and fake followers, those are all against the terms of service. And Instagram and Facebook know if you are using a third party, and oftentimes you will lose your account if you're doing those inauthentic behaviors, meaning you've hired a company to just post on everything that's like hashtag Scottsdale and say great home, beautiful picture. So I don't recommend doing that. I do recommend time blocking twice a day and spending 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening, being really strategic and authentically commenting on your sphere of influence and potential customers' posts. And it doesn't have to be every day that you're commenting on every single person's post, but every day we should be actively engaging in social media. That is our prospecting. That is what people are opening. If you call me, you will never talk to me. You will never get to my phone. It goes straight to voicemail. I have a whole system on my phone that unless you're in my contacts, it doesn't even ring. If you want to get a hold of me, it's social media. So I definitely recommend spending the time to be showing up there really authentically. And you guys, voice messages on direct message, more human, more real, and it's actually faster than typing. So if you haven't already, look for the little microphone, and on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, you can send voice messages to anyone. Okay, let me just make sure. Wow, we are exactly 2 o'clock on the dot. I'm happy to stay for a few more questions if anybody has any, but I also want to be cognizant of your time because that's important. So anybody have any last questions that they want to cover before we head out for the day? We'll just give it a second here. And then Rachel, I didn't know if you want to come back on and say anything, or if you have any follow-up items you want to cover before we go. Oh, we got a couple of messages here. Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Happy to be here. Well, Rachel, I'm handing it back over to you. Oh, I think you might be on mute, friend. Hold on. There we go.
Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation, and I'm sure everybody really learned a lot from this. And again, everyone follow Chelsea if you're not already. And thank you for joining us today. And don't forget about our next week, and reach out to your sales rep if you want to participate next week with Travis Tom.
Oh, you guys definitely want to participate next week. Amazing. So thanks so much, everybody, for having me. Stay safe and well out there, and we'll see you on the socials. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Chelsea.
See you later.